This is a 2012 Dodge Charger SRT8. I acquired the vehicle almost 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in June. Well, the dealership that I was working at, I found it by walking out of the showroom. It was parked in front. I had to take a second look to admire the vehicle because I'd never seen a blue one in person, or in general, honestly. And just went on about my day after grabbing the customer vehicle that I was going for. And the following day, I noticed the car was in our back lot with the tags off, which means the customer traded it in. And I immediately went to the used car manager and said, hey, I want that Charger that was just traded in. And we negotiated a price, and I had it that weekend.
The SRT8 Charger is big, it's loud, it's fast, and it exudes attitude. It doesn't care what anyone thinks. Yeah, it's big and it's heavy, but it's everything right with American muscle cars. And you know what American muscle cars do well? Smoky burnouts. So with a full exhaust, cam, custom tune, this car has put down 495 horsepower at the rear tires and almost just as much in torque. That's a large amount of power, which makes this 4,300 pound car feel a lot lighter on its feet. But it does make the car a little bit tricky to launch. The one thing about this car I was very curious about was the old 5-speed automatic transmission. I know this was an area of complaint for a lot of people, so I wanted to witness it for myself and really experience how it shifted, and honestly, it didn't disappoint. Now, it's not the new 8-speed auto, I get it. It's not as fast, but this is still a pretty quick transmission. The downshifts are immediate. I mean, honestly, it downshifted at times in which I didn't even anticipate it to. So it really wants to be in that power band. It does exactly what it's supposed to, and it knows where it wants to be. It's not jockeying around, it's not upshifting and downshifting constantly, unless you want to, of course, via the paddle shifters. Now this is where you can definitely tell the difference between the newer 8 speeds and this older 5-speed. There is a little hesitation in between your shifts, but it's predictable, and it's definitely not the slowest shifting transmission I've been in, by far. Overall, I was pretty pleased with it. I wouldn't hesitate to buy one myself. Oh, and did I mention it does a really good smoky burnout? The brakes have also been upgraded with a Brembo kit you'll find on the newer Hellcats. They have 15.4-inch rotors up front with 6 piston calipers, while the rear has 13.8-inch rotors with 4 piston calipers. It brings this big car to a stop quick.
Cam, long tube headers, upgraded valve springs, did a resonator delete.
Dodge Chargers aren't really known for their handling, nor are they a car that you normally see at a track. So you can imagine my surprise when Caleb said that he's building this car for just that. After he told me what he had done to the car and actually driving it for myself, I was quite surprised. It cornered flat, it was extremely stable, the steering was direct, the turning was great, and since this still has hydraulic steering, there's a lot of communication between you and the front tires. You can feel exactly what they're doing. So if the car handles this good now, I can only imagine how much better it's going to get after Caleb completes the modification list that he still has yet to do. So to all of you who think a big heavy Charger can't handle, well, you obviously haven't tried to modify it for handling. Trust me, it can do it.
I'm going to be going to Summit Point in West Virginia, July 4th weekend for the Track Days event. That's going to be a shakedown, R&D type style for the vehicle. Only thing it truly needs is adjustable camber arms, getting a corner balance style in. But as far as suspension and everything else, it's on B-Woody front rear end links. I plan on doing some trailing arms and everything else to really get the cornering down. The car is on K&W adjustable lowering springs. I went with this setup, that way I have the peace of mind of, in case I run bigger tires, which is what I did. I went from a 245 to a 275. And then I also have the bigger three-piece Brembo, or the 3-piston Brembos and 2-piece rotors. This is off of newer SRT and Hellcat models. With having an SRT, they were direct bolt-on, so I didn't have to swap anything out besides getting 9.5-inch wheels. But yeah, it's still on the factory Bilsteins. I think that they perform very well, especially in the sport mode with the active dampening and everything else.
This could be the perfect street car. It can do everything. It can be a daily driver, fit the whole family, and take a road trip, take a multi-hour trip for that matter. It's comfortable, it's a big Charger, but now it handles. It has straight line power, 500 rear wheel horsepower. Caleb claimed that he had raced a C5 Z06 in a straight line and outran it. That, I feel, is some pretty good clout. Now it handles on top of that. What can't this car do? If you're looking for an everyday car that does a little bit of everything, not say masters one thing or masters them all, but does well in everything, this is the car for you. Chargers, I feel like they're looked at as boats. They're heavy, and that may be true, but it doesn't mean they're not good performers. I feel like Caleb's proven that with this build. Again, I'll reiterate, I feel that this could be the perfect street car.
So it's a really fun street car. The engine rebuild was done right around 100K. It has currently almost 123,000 miles on it. I love driving this car. It'll always be a driver's car. It'll never sit in a garage. And I'm sure the mods list will never end.
So fill up that comment section now of what you think of a 500 wheel horsepower Dodge Charger that can handle. If you have a Dodge Charger of your own, tell me all about it down in the comment section. I would love to read about it. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next upload.